Welcome back for another helping of Oysters, Clams, and Cockles. I am Ross Bolen, here with my buddy, Mr. Barrett Dudley, to bring you the best TV shows and movies weekly in an easily digestible podcast packed with laughs. Barrett, how are you, my friend?
Oh, well, just call me Barrett Dudley's B, and I'm sitting down here because why would I stand when I can sit? Because I'm a rootin' tootin', no good shootin'. I thought I was gonna get some money, and you just saddled me with love. Well, by golly, I'm an aeronaut, not a kid, not a Willy Wonka man.
You're not.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm an aeronaut.
Oh, Willy Wonka, man. You're still not over that performance, huh?
Oh well, he's
or casting job.
He's getting so much. I don't know how far you are yet, but he's getting so much shine, and he's just really, you know, who wouldn't love the Lin-Manuel Miranda just chewing up some scenery as Lee Scoresby, the Texan aeronaut from his Dark Materials, you know?
Things have really gotten interesting on his Dark Materials. Barrett's a bit further than I am, and we're going to discuss it up to the point that he's at today, which is episodes 5 and 6. Okay, I've seen some tweets from people in the Clam fam, some live reactions saying that they are now full-blown hate-watching his Dark Materials. So I'm interested to hear where you're at.
Okay, yeah.
Through 6 episodes, as I am about halfway through the 5th.
Okay.
And want to die a little bit. Because it's in part due to Lin-Manuel Miranda and in a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons. We'll get into them.
Yeah, we will.
We will.
In due time.
We will.
In due time.
But we have a finale to cover today.
That's right.
A finale. And as we all know, finale pods are like Barrett and I's flu game. This is when we're at our best.
I mean, yes and no. So a lot of people say that penultimate pods
true.
are more like our flu games.
I've heard that take a lot as well.
You know, but we shine in both.
Yeah.
That truth be told.
The media is torn over where we shine more, in penultimates or finales.
Exactly.
Personally, I feel like the finale is our flu game, but perhaps you feel otherwise. But yes, we have the Watchmen Season 1 finale to relive and review. Big time conversation coming there. And on top of that, we have the Mandalorian, episodes 5 and 6. And on top of that, we have his Dark Materials, episodes 5 and 6. Can you fucking believe it, Barrett? What a packed show today.
Oh, baby.
It's going to be a fun one, folks. This episode of OCC is brought to you by Leesa. I routinely argue that your mattress is up there with your living room television in terms of important purchases that you make for your home. So you have to ask yourself, is your mattress kind of shitty? Do you even remember where it came from? How long you've had it? Do you wake up every morning feeling like you've won the lottery because you got such good sleep because your mattress is just that damn comfortable? I do on my Hybrid by Leesa, and it's time for you to join me. Leesa knows how important rest is to a better life. Leesa is the foundation of a healthier, happier you, and to Leesa, a bed is more than just a place to sleep. It's a place for relaxation and rest. Their most advanced luxury hybrid mattress is made with premium foams and springs for enhanced pressure relief with edge-to-edge support. This is the one that I've been sleeping on for over 3 years now. The most comfortable bed I've ever laid eyes or body on. Highly recommended to everyone I know. Barrett has a Hybrid by Leesa as well. Hybrid. Yeah, it's cloud-like. I love it. Leesa believes all people should have access to deep rest and relaxation, and as such, they make it easy for their customers to know they've made the right choice through their social impact initiatives tied to each purchase. They donate 1 mattress for every 10 they sell through organizations that work in causes like foster care prevention. To date, they've donated more than 33,000 mattresses through more than 1,000 nonprofits. Leesa mattresses are made in the USA, in-home delivery, and setup is available. Financing is also available. Don't miss out, Clam Fam. Live healthier, live happier by resting deeper. If you've waited all year long, it's the end of the year. Go into 2020 sleeping your best, the best sleep you've ever gotten on a Leesa. Order today. Get 15% off any mattress for a limited time at leesa.com/dragon. You got to go to the URL, leesa.com/dragon. You got to use the promo code DRAGON, LEESA.com/dragon, promo code DRAGON.
Leesa.
Lyra. Lysa is from Hook. Lysa
Aaron?
Is she a Lyra too in Hook?
Lysa Aaron?
No.
Leesa Aaron?
Leesa Aaron? Who's Leesa? Who's Leesa Aaron?
From Game of Thrones?
Ah! Thank you.
You buffoon.
Wow. Really drew a blank there. You know what's sad is my mind went, porn star?
That's Leesa Ann that you're thinking of.
That is.
Common mix-up.
Indeed. Did you just get a text message?
No, that was a news notification on the Lappy Top.
Oh, cool. What happened? Not a.
I clicked out of it very quickly.
Whew, thank God.
It was probably something
Horrible
dumb from Hollywood Reporter or something like
Oh,
that.
good. It could have been like terrible news. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
No news is good
Right,
news.
right.
I always
No,
say.
mass shootings generally happen much earlier in the day.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, not an evening type of thing.
No.
We should be good. Have you ever asked yourself, God, where can I get more OCC? We get one a week right now. Where can I get more? There's an answer to that question. Patreon.com/Oysters, Clams, Cockles. The only place you can get more OCC. You get up to four additional episodes, new additional episodes exclusively on Patreon each month if you join the Mollusk Militia. If you join the Crustacean Nation, you get 3, I believe. Is that correct, Barrett?
That is absolutely correct. 100%.
How good is that? How much fun is that? In December, we've already done our 2019 Game of Thrones wrap-up, which was an hour-long conversation Barrett and I had reflecting on the final season of the show, the series as a whole, our feelings, where we're at with everything that's unfolded with Benioff and Weiss sort of since then, and George R.R. Martin and the book possibilities, and the prequel stuff. We get into all of that in our 2019 Game of Thrones wrap-up, available on patreon.com/Oysters, Clams, Cockles right now, also in full video form. There's video of all the different Patreon episodes. The only place you can watch video, the same Patreon page I've been mentioning this entire time. We also did our movie club on Knives Out.
How crazy is it that Game of Thrones final season was 2019? That was this year.
It doesn't feel like that for me at all.
No.
It feels like it maybe was even 2 years ago. I'm serious.
Yeah.
This year's just dragged ass, Barrett.
Man,
Really dragged ass.
I tell you what.
When we were about 4 episodes in there is when 2019 came to almost a screeching fucking halt.
Mm-hmm.
And we've just been dragging ass ever since. Because you could just feel the problems. They were there.
Just building.
Oh.
Stacking.
On the Twitter machine, mostly.
Game of Thronesing.
Oh, anyway, Knives Out was great. Great fun. Fun. We had a good time in the theater watching that. Did our podcast on that as well. We've got hotline calls coming later this week, I believe. And then our best of the year, top 5 movies and TV shows of 2019 the following week, Christmas as well. So tons of stuff coming on
if
Patreon.
Game of Thrones made your top 5.
Ooh. You'll only know.
You only know.
If you join the Crustacean Nation or Mollusk Militia on patreon.com/Oysters, Clams, Cockles. Are you ready to talk about the Watchmen season finale?
What trailer is that from? Do you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, well, I feel like several horror movies have done similarly creepy little sing-song types of things like that. So I don't know.
Okay,
Not It.
yeah.
Or It Chapter 2. Neither.
By the way, It Chapter 2 is a movie that we watched, and we did an episode
We did.
on Patreon.
Georgie,
I'm going to bring it up later in this podcast.
do you like popcorn? Pop, pop, pop. You know what's fucked up is that people watching on Twitch right now on twitch.tv/BossRollin
Yeah.
hear me do that all of the time when I'm gaming.
That's
For
just,
some
that's
reason-
just like your go-to.
The Pennywise comes out a lot.
Yeah.
I can't explain why. Anyway, Watchmen season finale was on Sunday night.
You do a headshot, and you're just like, pop, pop, pop.
It's sometimes there's an underground in one of the maps. It's like a sewer, and that's where it comes out a lot.
Okay.
Because I'm Pennywising down there.
Yeah.
Except I have a gun in this game that I play, not in life. Back to the regularly scheduled programming. Watchmen, the season 1 finale went down Sunday night.
It did.
And now the first thing I want to say about this is that it was noticeably quiet on the interwebs compared to what I would expect for a finale. In terms of like spoiler avoidance and shit, I kind of went into Twitter sort of tiptoeing, like, all right, let's see to make sure. And I my mentions were a couple people being like, "Oh my God, have you watched it yet?" But it was mostly chill. Wasn't quite the explosive, I guess, reaction-inducing finale that perhaps I expected.
Yeah. I largely agree with that, and I think that it kind of did the HBO/Game of Thrones thing, where 9 dropped more bombs than 10 did.
Where the penultimate felt like it was more intense in terms of reveals and stuff.
A little bit, yeah. And we obviously got some news dropped on us in this one.
Sure.
And some major things happened.
Sure.
But at the same time, it did feel like a bit of a wrap-up episode.
Yeah, it was. I guess it's more of like the unraveling after the big thing, sort of almost.
Yeah.
A little. But it also had these crazy moments. But I guess it was like,
did.
it's just, I guess it's weird. It's when you've built all of that up to get to it, it almost can't live up to your expectations.
Well, right. And just to try to put it another way, it's like, they pulled the curtain back, and we got to see what the stage looked like before the final episode. We knew the players going into it.
Right.
We knew what it looked like, and then they then they put on the show.
Yes.
For us in the final.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
But you know what I mean? Like the episode didn't begin with like the curtain opening. The curtain was already open.
Right. Got you. No, that's a good way of putting it. That being said, it was incredible. It was just I guess a little bit different pace than I expected. It was sort of just that unfolding of the stuff we'd already seen set up and less introduction of crazy new elements, of course, until the very end, where the egg situation finally comes to be. Where do we want to start in terms of how did the episode even start? I don't even know.
How did you feel overall?
I liked it a lot. It definitely made me feel like they're going to do a season 2 more than before, okay. I think. Because it was so not final feeling.
Let me give you 3 options. 1, Watchmen never comes back for a second season.
Okay.
2, it comes back next year, let's say late next year again, but it's not Damon Lindelof. 3, it takes 2 to 3 years to return, but Damon is still at the helm.
3 would be my first choice, and then 1.
I'd go with 3. Yeah,
I think we're getting B. I think we're getting 2,
where they come back again, but he's not involved.
I think that Damon has like dropped the mic and been like, "That was my
that's
Watchmen. What I had."
Okay,
but I'm okay. But there are obviously a lot of different ways that they could continue this story.
Right.
And I believe that the show was a hit relatively. Like I think that it did numbers, and it certainly had the Twitterverse talking. And
critically, it's been very well accepted,
very well received. The acting performances were all top notch. Like everything about this was like, a big time win. And so of course they're going to want to keep it going.
Right.
But I think that Damon is
probably going to bow out.
I think he's going to bow out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's problematic.
Based on what he said in interviews and his just kind of his outward suggestions right now would definitely make you think that he's out.
That was his. Mike, is that your read thus far?
I think so. I'm not sure if he'll bow completely out, but throughout the entire season, he's been really saying things like the best ideas came out of the writer's room, not from me. And
almost saying like they don't necessarily need me to continue this.
Almost saying like I'm probably going to promote somebody in the writer's room to showrun, which I think he would be comfortable with, leaving that legacy to somebody that he worked really close with. And I don't remember what it was, but some of the strongest episodes were he credited, like episode 6 where we go back in time and we see the whole origin of
the member berries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or yeah. That
I remember
was, and that one and the one all about Looking Glass. He credited those two, two other writers, essentially, for coming up with the idea and the thread of those 2 episodes, and those are largely the strongest episodes of the season. So, I would not be surprised if he hands it off to another writer.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I would.
But that's
think.
just a side note there. We can run through kind of like what happened with all the characters. We had Angela, who breaks some fingers to get a bead on where Dr. Manhattan is being kept.
She really does.
She goes to see the show. Looking Glass and Lori are posted up, also watching the show.
Looking Glass largely does nothing, by the way.
Yeah.
After all that.
The senator is about to put on the show. He's got Dr. Manhattan trapped in this
he gets down into
cage
his
thing.
Banana hammock.
He goes down to the OG black skivvies that Dr. Manhattan wears in like the 1960s.
Oh man.
He we'll definitely touch on that. Let's see. Lady True reveals her true purpose, her true intent, which is to let the senator and the 7th Cavalry do all the legwork, and then she's going to float down in the Millennium Clock
And utilize the shit they built. Yeah.
kill everybody and take the powers for herself.
Yeah, she basically used them
Yes.
as pawns.
Yeah. Vite was signaling to her the whole time
Help
because,
me,
as we
save
learned,
me, daughter.
that is his daughter.
Yes.
That's how the episode opened, by the way.
Oh, yes.
Is with
her
is
mother
with Mama True
injecting his
going
sperm.
going turkey baster
Yes.
with the samples behind the Alexander the Great painting.
Now, why did he need quite so much of his sperm behind Alexander the Great?
Well, Ross, let's imagine that you're the smartest man in the world.
Okay.
You're locked away in Antarctica
Not hard for me to imagine this. Okay.
at your compound, just doing stuff, making things, solving the world's problems.
Yeah.
What's something you think you might do with all that free time, though?
That's a good question. And then you don't want to waste. You don't want to be wasteful.
And you're very narcissistic. You're very egotistical.
True.
Somebody should have this.
True.
Somebody needs to take my seed at some point so they can make more of me because I'm so goddamn smart.
In his mind, it was probably like one day there will be a civilization with only my
only me.
DNA that
Yeah.
has created all these. Yeah, so she goes in there and she's like, fuck this, I'm getting one.
Yeah, I've seen your crank bank, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna take one of those little ditties from me.
Doesn't she say, fuck you, Ozymandias?
Yes.
I wonder what he did to piss her off, that she was like, this is what I'm going to go do.
Yeah.
You got to know. But yeah, so that's how Lady True came to be. Things don't go well for her in this episode
No.
at all. Once our boy brings the cephalopods back into play, but freezes them.
Mm-hmm.
Nice little twist there. Didn't see that one coming. I'll be honest, that was the part that I was a little underwhelmed by. His sort of way of solving the problem was to drop frozen cephalopods, and like they were seemingly like, I mean, the first one that goes through Lady True's hand, you're like, oh shit, everybody here is about to get completely destroyed.
Yes.
But then a
And
bunch
then
of people
it's-
are like, well, they're falling all around me. This is crazy. And like start running over, like they're clearly fine. So it's like, wait, why did the one that hit her fucking go straight through her like it was a goddamn
Yeah,
45
it
caliber
was
sniper?
Very Lindelof, in which like story outweighs logic.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's, and again, that's like basically he almost gives you fuck you moments where he does that.
and
in his shows.
it was so in that zone where one just was like a bullet. It just blasted a perfect hole straight through her hand.
Yeah.
Like that's the impact that it had.
Yeah.
And then in other cases, it's just like hail. It's just like hitting the Red Scare and like the shoulder, and he's like, "Ow!"
Yeah. It was just luck of the draw. Which one you
So
got?
it was just that.
Some squids are bigger than others.
I was just
Yeah.
like, it was
And they
so
freeze harder.
clearly not going to be explained. It was so clearly just like a device
Uh-huh.
that I was just basically like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if I had to complain about something, that was
No,
the one
no,
thing
you're-
where I was like, hey,
Absolutely. And I think almost everybody that was watching with a close eye was like, okay, wait, so some of these things are going to like bring down this $42 billion millennium clock, but others aren't going to blast through a crappy building ceiling
or like a human shoulder.
or like a human shoulder.
Yeah. It was weird.
Some are going straight through hands, others are,
That shot of her
you
being
know.
like looking through her hand though
yeah.
was sick.
Yeah.
And then her like realizing, oh no.
So
Did she say motherfucker as her last word words? I think she
she
does.
might, yeah. She goes, motherfucker. Yeah.
And then it just falls on her head.
Yeah.
Lindelof can be really heavy on the Christ imagery, as we saw
Oh,
with
God.
So that was probably like a stigmata.
Yeah.
One, you know.
There was a lot of Christ imagery in this one
Mhm,
too.
yeah.
And yeah, nope, the whole season.
And
Pretty much nonstop.
let's see. So Vite. Oh yeah, Vite. He gets the somehow. I was trying to do I was trying to do the linear timeline math in my head
Yeah.
because somehow like the satellite takes 5 years. Remember?
Okay, yeah.
So that's about 5 years away because he gets transported to Europa shortly after
Right.
he meets Lady True,
Right.
who tells him that it's going to be 5 years before the thing gets there.
Right.
But then we got a 10-year timeline. So the spaceship must only take 2.5 to get there and 2.5 to get back. Or maybe even shorter because he is the statue that's been in the garden the whole time.
Yes, that
Yeah.
was a crazy reveal.
So
Yeah.
Laura predicted that.
that he was going to
that
be
he
there.
is this, that he was the statue.
Remember
yeah.
when I was like, it's crazy that she picked a facial expression of him
You did, yeah.
where he's so goddamn
Yes.
clearly not happy?
I think she actually maybe heard that and was like, I
Went
bet
off
it's
of that.
him. Yeah.
So really it was me.
So
You're welcome, Laura. I'm just kidding, Laura.
The episode where she walks in on that couple and hands him a baby, and
Yeah.
a meteor falls in the background, that was him landing.
Oh my god, dude. That's fucking wild. When
That's
we were
why she
like,
needed their property.
we were like, we have to know what that was.
Yeah.
Now we do. Holy shit, that's hilarious.
And we're actually not sure when that was.
No, there's no 4 years ago. There's no
Right,
crawl
right.
that tells you, or Chiron that tells you what's up.
Now, I mean, I guess it's just another thing where it's like safe to assume that if you're building a spaceship that can go to one of the moons of Jupiter,
Mm-hmm.
like you've figured some crazy shit out.
Yeah,
You know?
I would buy that it can get there in half an hour and back.
Right.
Yeah, there's no
Why
reason
not
for me
in this
not,
universe?
based on what
Sure,
else she
exactly,
was able
yeah.
to build, there's no reason for me not to believe that or
Yeah.
any of the other things that happened.
So, then let's see.
Like, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
All right. So in terms of Grandpa Abar's involvement, the original Hooded Justice, what is it that Dr. Manhattan comes to him with that at one point Angela believes started all this, as she puts it, that ends with Judd dead in our first episode of this series? What is it that Dr. Manhattan asks him to agree to do? To agree to help destroy him? Because that is what the grandpa does. He
Yeah.
helps.
Yeah, that's part of it.
But for what? I guess my question is, was it as straightforward as Dr. Manhattan believed there would be a point where he no longer should exist or did not want to exist? Because you sort of touched on that early on in the season, maybe episode 3-ish.
Yeah.
His sort of inherent desire to seemingly, he did not like his existence.
His existence or his power. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw that while Dr. Manhattan was talking to Angela Abar and talking to the grandfather at the same time in different timelines,
Right.
Angela asked Dr. Manhattan, ask him why he killed Judd, and then kind of gave the whole backstory of Judd, and Dr. Manhattan told Hooded Justice, which sent him on this his plan 10 years later to kill Judd.
Right.
But I believe Dr. Manhattan also told him a little extra and said, here's the plan. I don't think he wanted only to die, but I think he had in mind that his power should be in someone else, somebody that he loves, somebody who could do something with it.
And perhaps it's that he saw the inevitable existence of a Lady True situation in which someone would attempt to destroy him.
He saw all
yes.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
I think he saw the fact that people would try to appropriate his power.
Right.
Mhm.
So he wanted to make sure that this went down in a way.
He couldn't hold on to it forever because our world is going to try and take it from him.
Yeah.
So he wanted to pass it on to someone he trusted.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. And then, we already touched a little bit on how much Christ imagery there was.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, what I was getting, like in all those shots of Lady True where we see, Jesus on the cross right there,
Literally
like,
in the background.
in the background,
With like a fucking Bible verse above and beyond, below
like
it.
there was so much of this that was correlating Dr. Manhattan to being a Christ-like God figure.
And
So
sacrificing
this was
himself.
this was him sacrificing himself.
Right.
Like he knew, because and that kind of helps
And
answer.
look, what does it do? It gives her the ability to walk on water.
Right. And
Who
so
walks on water?
that kind of helps
The
answer
Jesus fish.
all of the
Lizard.
all of the questions that we
Fish.
had about why he wouldn't just level everything outside, why he wouldn't just fix the situation that he finds himself in, why he would
Because he
let
needs
them
a
capture
way.
himself, let them
Yeah.
capture him in the first place, when that obviously didn't have to happen given his powers.
Yeah,
And it's like this was the way. This is the way.
the safe way. Yeah.
That all of this needed to go down, to take down all of the leadership of the 7th Cavalry, to take down Lady True, 2 birds with 1 stone,
And Cyclops.
and
Same
Cyclops,
thing, but sort
right.
of an older version of it. Yeah.
and to
seemingly.
pass on the powers safely to somebody that he felt
Trustworthy.
was trustworthy and deserving and had like the capacity and had experienced so much in life to like
Even with him, even.
perhaps be able to handle this.
Sure. At least have an understanding of the
Yeah.
scope of it. Better than Lady True's crazy ass seemed to. She didn't seem like she was going to be great about that. Yeah, I loved when he sort of explained that she's an egomaniac and it takes one to know one.
As soon as he started speaking Latin, I knew he was saying it takes one to know one.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, it was a good line. Well set up.
What is the actor who played Ozymandias?
Jeremy Irons?
Okay, Jeremy Irons. Can we just... he was phenomenal.
Yeah, really
He was
good.
probably the MVP of the season for me.
I love seeing him interact finally with all our major characters in this episode. That was like one of the most delightful things about this finale.
Yes, after only getting to see him interact with those two slapdick clones
Yeah.
on his in his paradise the entire season. Crookshanks. I'll miss them though.
Was
but-
I a worthy adversary?
God, dude, how good was all that though? I mean,
No.
dude, that was phenomenal. He was my MVP. He was the
Yeah.
best thing. The season was great. Everybody killed it. I don't want to sit here and pretend that Angela Abar
Yeah,
was
I
not
gotta.
great.
I will though. I'll give mine to Regina King.
Okay, somebody
because
has to.
she was also. Awesome.
Listen, when the first show where I watched her and I was like, God damn, was The Leftovers, where she was like so powerful. Almost, honestly, there were parts of The Leftovers where she was overwhelming. Like I was like, this is just the Regina King show at this point. And she played this part so well. But for me, his presence on it's partially his character too, and the arc of his character. But he killed it. So he just did such a good job, and I thought he was it was so many layers to that guy.
Yeah.
It was depressing. It was funny as hell at times. He was saving the day at times. He was evil as shit at times. You never really knew what to make of him. And in the end, he'd save the day again.
He really did. What did you think about them tossing
Arresting
him
him?
in the what is it called? What's the ship called? The Owl.
Oh, the Archie.
The Archie.
Yeah,
Archie.
the Owl ship.
The Owl ship. I kind of think you got to let him slide there.
Look, the guy's an asset.
And then I get, you really try to, and this is where TV breaks from reality because, I was dealing with this question. I was like, man, he just saved all your asses. You can't take him in. And then you like really think about it. Really, really think about killing 3 million people.
And where this all started, yeah.
3,000 died in 9/11.
Right.
And he killed 3 million.
Millions.
Like,
that's some Hitlery shit.
No,
Like, that's the
Right.
only
Don't
other
you want to
comparison.
see him in prison in season 2, like running the prison? Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, but that's, again, more credit to Jeremy Irons that he made a character that did that and was just killing clones left and right, like a funny, likable character.
Yeah.
Honorable mention also to Yahya Abdul-Mateen, who was Cal/Dr. Manhattan, because
Dude,
he
yeah.
gave his performance like had to be really subtle, but I thought it was really powerful as well.
Within the subtleness of it, there was quite a bit of range, and he had to be able to play versions of his character even,
Totally.
which he nailed the differences. Like,
Yeah.
even the version of Dr. Manhattan he is within the cage, where he's being affected and can't quite feel
Right.
where he is,
Yep.
and he's saying random shit from like his past at different points. Mike, were there any takeaways from any of that random shit he blurted out? Because there was a couple things he said where I was like, I'm sure that means something to people who know Watchmen lore or some shit, but it's not something that hit anything
Right.
from me.
not really. I mean, a lot of it was actually referencing stuff we'd seen in the episode or had
Yeah.
been played out in the episode.
Yeah, okay. I
Or
thought-
not the episode, but the series.
God, at that point, I was like sweating my ass off because
Okay.
we were we were in the climax there for like a good 10 minutes, and it was stressful as shit.
No lube man.
No lube, man.
But apparently, basically confirmed
Yeah.
via PDpedia that PD was indeed Lube Man.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, which is really something.
So
you know?
they got it. Well, no season 2. Of course, we're gonna get a season 2. We got to come back around to Lube Man.
And season 2 will just be his origin
The
story.
Adventures of Lube Man. Yeah.
Did you like how they sort of framed up with Grandpa Abar when he was like, and that this was my origin story?
Yeah. I thought that made sense, especially because the final act of the show, and especially this episode, kind of had to deal in some comic book movie style tropes and plot beats.
Sure.
You
More
know?
than the rest of it did.
More than the rest of it, yeah. And so I thought it was a nice nod to some of that. And
And a reminder how much of the history of all that we got throughout the season as well.
totally, yeah. It was a nice cap on that. One of the things that this show did is brought light to like a horrible massacre that I'm not sure many people actually knew about.
Yeah.
Which is what I texted y'all a story
Yeah,
earlier today.
The one about how they just recently, like I think as early as this week, as recent as this week, may have found a mass grave.
Oh no, they did find one. Yeah, from the Tulsa massacre.
From the Tulsa Black Wall Street
1921
massacre.
Which what I was saying when I texted y'all that story, because possible mass grave from 1921 Tulsa race massacre found by researchers, and they're investigating it now. They think it is from the 1921 Tulsa race massacre, according to an article on ABC posted 59 fucking seconds ago. So, it's not something I was taught about in school, which is weird.
I don't remember that.
Because most of the major racial events in this country we were taught about, even in the South. We're going to school in Houston, Texas. It's not a horribly southern city. It's just in the southern half of the United States, so people consider it the South. It's not the South, but whatever. We still learned about all the different horrible racist shit that happened for the most part, I thought. Turns out we skipped some fucking events.
Yeah.
This is one of them. I never learned about this, which when we started episode 1 of the show, we sort of touched on that, our unfamiliarity with it, and it just became such an important piece of this puzzle. And you know how we talked about, like, we think this is going to be a Joker situation where Lindelof basically uses the Watchmen vehicle as a way to tell a story doesn't necessarily matter.
Sure.
I ended up, I don't really agree with that. He tied so much of their shit in, and
He
it
did.
really became, like, he used so much Watchmen. And it got more and more about the comic books and the lore and the. I thought he was able to accomplish both, like all of it, everything. Really, that was what was such a great success about this season for me. It ended up not just being him using it as a vehicle. I don't think he's now in the position that, for instance, Joker is, where he has to make the choice: do we go full comic book or do we stick with the gritty shit? He is there in the lane with both. Like that's how the finale felt like it accomplished that for me.
Yeah, well, and this is again to kind of like differentiate it from the position that Joker finds itself in. One thing I read kind of about this first season as a whole is you could talk to a number of different people and they'd all give you different answers about like what they thought like the main piece of the show was, or what the main theme was, or what their favorite like slice of it was.
Right.
So it just like it did do so much, and there are so many. It did tackle so many different things, so many different like, of these strands you could keep pulling at.
Yeah.
There are at least 5 or 6, 7 different ones that you could go with, all the while like just couching it in this Watchmen world, which is a much bigger and more expansive world than Gotham City with Batman is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, it's much more
like there
complex.
are far more characters. It's far more complex.
Way less
There's way
rules,
more
too.
There's way more like built-in history with all of the original stuff, with Dr. Manhattan and with like the original Minutemen and all, it just has way more baked in, and this season pushed it in so many different directions that there's still plenty to do, I think, in a really, like nuanced and smart and intelligent way.
Not just being weird that they're doing that. Like, you're not going to be like, oh, they're really forcing a season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can really focus it on, like they did this time, in the social issues, but still make it about these characters and the legacy of the book. Like, Lindelof said something recently that was really, I thought, really beautiful. He said the idea of the series, the theme he wanted to get across was the effects of appropriation. Like, the white superheroes appropriating that idea of being a costume vigilante from Hooded Justice.
Right.
Like taking it from a black man.
Right.
And because he felt Lindelof, he himself was somewhat misappropriating Watchmen from the creator Alan Moore, because Alan Moore does not want any other iterations of Watchmen made.
Has historically like basically been like hands
Leave
off.
my baby alone.
Yes.
Yeah, and in Dr. Manhattan,
That's fucked up. Not that he says that.
Yeah.
That we still have all the Watchmen stuff that we
yeah,
do.
I know there's a lot of it.
Damn.
And Dr. Manhattan understood the idea that appropriation happens and someone's going to take away his power and appropriate it. So he has to
Find a
figure
way
out
how
to pass it on to someone who
to
is
steer it almost.
responsible. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Mike. One interesting thing that struck me when asking myself, okay, if they do season 2, what there's obviously a billion, like we just said, a billion ways you can go. When we've watched episode 1 of this show, I remember being surprised by the starting point, where he chose to pick up and run. And it obviously, in hindsight, gives them the opportunity to go back and do OG Watchmen if they wanted to with the next season. I mean, they really can.
Yeah.
They don't have to go from where we're at, is what I'm saying.
Right.
They can pick anywhere in the timeline.
Yeah, they built the world. They can do whatever. Yeah.
And that's one of the really interesting things there in terms of season 2 options.
I'd be way less interested in a reinterpretation of the original material.
Same. Yeah.
Probably as well for me. I just mean that they could pick anywhere between there and here and after the fact. Like, I don't necessarily know that we're going to get, like it's not going to be season 2 with A-Bars on the pool still. I don't know. I don't know what they'll do. I don't know. They can do whatever the fuck they want. But this was great success.
It was.
And like we said, it's not just... We all thoroughly enjoyed it. I'll say it's not that the finale, was underwhelming for me. It's just that, again, like so many great seasons of TV we've watched recently, the penultimate ended up being having a little more of an effect on me.
Tell me if you got this feeling at all. One of the things that, and again, I thought the finale was good. It wrapped up the season really nicely. I loved the show. But just to pick some nits here, like, it almost wrapped things up too nicely. I got this feeling that Damon was kind of doing this thing again where he was like, look, all you motherfuckers, I'm going to answer all the questions. I'm going to put a bow on all of this. I will let you, so we had these moments of explanation in the form of dialogue several times. And then everything got kind of like wrapped up nicely. And it's almost like, I almost wish it had been a little weirder.
To keep it more open?
Yeah, and just going back to his 2 like previous big things.
This is so funny. Now we're complaining about the opposite.
I know, and I completely realized. I absolutely understand the.
You can't make us happy.
Yeah, right. The irony or the hypocrisy of what I'm saying here, because with Lost, he didn't answer shit.
Yeah,
and everybody said
we all freaked out.
We hate you. This was awful.
Yeah.
I guess maybe what I'm saying is that I thought he had a nice medium point in Leftovers.
Yes,
where we had a lot of ambiguity still. Didn't really answer a bunch. And
he still didn't answer a lot about
he left
the origins
a lot of questions unanswered
from the foundation of the story,
yes,
for
about,
sure.
like plot point wise.
Like what the fuck happened? We never really,
And I realized that in a superhero story, even there's less of that to do. It's not so open ended. It's not so cerebral. It's not like so heady.
Yeah.
Right. So but at the same time, I just got the feeling watching this episode that he was like, I'm going to make sure I answer all your big questions and kind of like put a bow on this. Maybe that was also because he did feel like going into this, that this was
going to be it for him.
This was his final say. So he wanted to make his meaning, his intention clear, I guess.
So guys, as somebody who spends a significant amount of time watching TV and movies and stuff, that final shot is not the final shot of a guy who's gearing up for another season. It's the final shot of a guy who's ending what he just did.
Yeah. Yes.
It wasn't a cliffhanger shot. That was a final, like, and Mike and I were talking about it a little bit earlier today when we recorded RBP. I was like, so she steps on the water. Like, what do you think? Obviously, and he was like, nah, it's not even a question. Like,
yeah, she has the power.
She has the powers.
Yes.
Like, it's over. Sure. Like that.
Yes.
It happened. And that's so true. There's nothing to interpret about what's happening there. She she has absorbed all of Dr. Manhattan's powers. Dr. Manhattan is gone, and she's about to walk on that fucking pool.
Yeah, that's definitely what I took.
And
took away.
as an I mean, bro, that's where it gets weird for like, it's almost like he was like, I know y'all are going to try to make more money off this and keep it going, and that's fine, but I'm going to do it in a way that's like, good luck. Because if you're picking up the baton from here and you're not him, you're going to struggle. That's very, 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 very difficult to like bounce me back into the universe. Because what do you do,
see,
dude? Now Angela's fucking blue powerful and crazy?
I actually, like, that's why... that's why I gave you that choice when we started off. Is like, I wouldn't want Damon to come back unless he takes a bunch of time off.
To figure it out?
Yeah, because I think I think that this is the type of story that needs like a really like fresh perspective.
I agree.
Every time it gets back up to the plate.
I agree.
Because
you got to have something to say.
Yeah, because
I agree.
This did such a good job of like making you think about so many different things.
Yes.
That it's like if Damon just comes back next year, season 2, 2020, let's run it back. I feel like we'd get it. We'd kind of we'd get
It's
a
almost
retread.
like we are still here.
Yeah,
you know?
I think he'd be compelled to maybe continue to say things about what he had already said.
Right.
Instead of you let somebody else step up to the top role, and now it's like they get to put their thesis on it, put their thumbprint on it.
Man, I really can't. My gut tells me I wish they just would leave it alone. That this would be it.
Yeah.
But I don't, like you said, I don't know that that's going to happen based on especially how successful this was and how fucking good of a season it was. And if they find somebody else, it's HBO, remember? So they're not going to go with some slapdick. If they find another Lindelof caliber guy, that's not many people that fit in that category, though, of weirdos who would come attack a project like this. But you got to find one of them and bring them in and hand them the keys. Then things get interesting, and it's like, okay, what is the next interpretation of this universe going to look like? But I've also had people saying they wish they would do American Horror Story, where the next season of Watchmen has absolutely nothing to do with this one.
Yep.
And if you think about it, that would be very easy as well. It's just it gets really weird with Dr. Manhattan stuff, and that's where the real issue is for me. And it's the same issue we've touched on multiple times throughout the course of this season, and that really did get explained in a way that ended up being not annoying. That there was reasons for the reasons he wouldn't do all those things. Why wouldn't you just blow everybody up? Well, this is why he needed to get to this point. It's sort of like a Night King type of thing. Like you got to work to get to this point that you know is inevitably there or whatever, where the wall comes down.
Yeah. I think
spoiler alert, Game of Thrones.
I think we touched on this in a previous pod as well, but just to continue like those God parallels, because and even like even Will Reeves said to Angela at one point, he's like, he was a good guy, but he could have done more. And Lady True had the same sentiment. He's like, he was selfish. He went off and created some stupid ass utopia.
He didn't want to deal with the
instead
reality
of dealing with solving problems here. I'm going to fix problems here. But so we're asking all these questions of a God, right? Why would you not just come fix everything?
Right.
But that's the exact same question that we ask about faith and religion and gods in our own reality.
Yes.
If there's a God, why doesn't he fix shit?
Why allow all this horrible shit to happen every day?
Right. So it's like, just within that power, it's. I don't know. I liked the question about basically giving somebody that type of power, and then what do you do with
Seeing what they do with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's where it could be fun, is to see how Angela would handle that situation.
Yeah, because you step away, and it's like, well, given the choice, do you want Lady True or do you want Dr. Manhattan? Lady True is going to become a tyrannical, all-powerful, like, warlord of a god, basically.
You remember the one part in Lord of the Rings where Frodo's with like the hot, super tall white witch, and she goes full. She's like, She's like, she has to pass the test of him offering her the ring, and she's like, I would be omnifucking present, and like she gets huge and like the full screen. You're like, holy shit, that's what it would be like if Lady True.
So, and with Dr. Manhattan, he took a step back and said, no, I'm not going to do anything.
Right.
So it's like that's probably better than the Lady True option.
I had never considered this, but it's like, did Watchmen inspire Bruce Almighty? Because that's essentially the premise. That's what we're doing now. What we're playing with is, what if a human being was given the power of God? And that's what Angela now has. And now I'm like, see, this is why I'm torn. Because it was so perfect.
It
Like,
was.
you're good, leave it alone. But then also, damn, that'd be fun to play with.
Yeah.
But it's scary. Just make more. That's the answer. Just make more. If he doesn't want to do it, hand it to somebody else. That's my last take. I would like another season, regardless of how it has to get done.
I want more. Maybe an
I'm with
anthology, like you said.
Because if they choke it, bro, it doesn't matter. It doesn't ruin the first season. What happened to True Detective? I don't care.
Right.
It's like season 2 never happened. It really is. I don't care. Season 1 is still one of the best things I've ever seen in my life.
Sure.
Give us more Watchmen, please, HBO. But also, whoever it is up there in charge of picking stuff, I hope they live forever. I don't know who it is. They're just the best.
At HBO?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They always do such a good job giving the limited amount of shit that they do comparatively to like Netflix, Amazon, et cetera now. They're doing a great job. I enjoy it. That being said, we're going to discuss a show that maybe they're not doing so great on in a little bit. This episode of OCC is also brought to you by Hawthorne. Cologne is a very complicated thing. It's tough to pick a scent. It's tough to pick a fragrance. Impossible to know when you're getting ripped off, which it turns out it's almost always. Too many of us dudes pick a cologne like, we picked one when we were 17 or 22 or too young, and then you go with that for a decade, and it's like you smell like a fucking high school gym locker room, and it's embarrassing. And smelling good is important, and that's where our sponsor Hawthorne comes in. Hawthorne smells really, really good, and getting their cologne is so damn easy. You go to hawthorne.co. It's got an E on the end, HAWTHORNE.co with no M, okay? You take a little quiz. They ask you, like, do you have curly hair or straight hair? Do you have dry skin or oily skin? They ask you all the questions they need to ask you about so that you can get hooked up with all their personalized products, their deodorant, their shampoo, their body wash, their conditioner. It's all phenomenal, and you all get it. You get it all in one place from hawthorne.co after you take that little quiz. It takes like 2 minutes. Super easy. Totally risk-free shipping and free returns. I'm completely stocked up. This is what I'm using every time I'm in the shower now. Love their shampoo, love their conditioner and their body wash. It is all phenomenal. I smell great. All Hawthorne, everything. Check out Hawthorne at hawthorne.co. Hawthorne with an E. Use the promo code DRAGON to get 10% off your first purchase, Clam Fam. That's HAWTHORNE.co. Use the code DRAGON to get 10% off your purchase. Hawthorne.co. You're going to smell great. Great presents, too. If your significant other has terrible shampoo and conditioner and you've always been like, damn it, here you go. There you go. Let's talk about The Mandalorian.
Yeah, okay.
Episodes 5 and 6.
Yes.
We touched briefly on 5 last week.
Yeah.
It was the babysitting one, right?
It was the babysitting one. We had Amy Sedaris show up.
Yes.
We had an annoying little Han Solo wannabe, and we had
That guy was awful.
Fennec.
Fuck that guy.
Fennec Shan. Is that a scary assassin lady who all
Mando.
fake Han Solo ends up offing. She gets got.
That was a little sad.
Yeah.
I liked her and not him.
All was well. Amy Sedaris proved to be a wonderful
Nanny, babysitter.
caretaker / nanny for baby Yodes.
Phenomenal.
And yeah, high scores, high marks all around. And that was the episode,
Which meant
followed by a tag with a clinking Western man
Yes.
walking up to dead Fennec and doing we don't know what. He kneels down and that's it. Episode
And we
over.
still don't know what.
Oh no.
After this episode 6.
Yes.
Untouched, that scene. Important to note. Very important to note. One other thing important to note that is hilarious to me. Well, first of all, this Baby Yoda merchandising situation that you and I talked about a couple weeks back has become a full-blown international news story at this point.
It is a catastrophe.
Barrett, yesterday I Googled Baby Yoda merch, and the first link was one that's existed. It had existed for a matter of minutes when I was looking at it. And it was on Target.com, Mike. And it was a fucking Baby Yoda stuffed animal.
Yeah, the plushie.
The plush one. And it said, ships April 1st, 2020. And it melted my brain.
Yeah. You can pre-order them on DisneyShop.com or whatever, and they'll deliver in they have a release date of like May or April.
That is truly phenomenal in terms of scope of how many people should be fired.
Now, I know that Disney wanted to keep this all like
That's such a shitty
they
excuse.
were hardcore keeping Baby Yoda under wraps.
They're idiots then.
They wanted no leaks.
Somebody at Disney is an idiot because somebody is fucking up. Because the same what else came up in our text group yesterday? They weren't letting people do GIFs at one point, or they were freaking out about GIFs.
Right.
Oh no, people will get Baby Yoda spoiled for them. You morons. It was what our friend Eric said. Do you not internet? Have you never interneted before? You mentioned this is what the NFL does. This is a massive problem. If you're running an organization in 2020, 2019, or 2015, and you still don't get that, like, you need to be able to, MLB does it too. You've got to let people share your shit. That's how shows pick up steam. You want the memes, baby. Memes are your friend.
Yeah. In this case, especially, the NFL, man, they don't seem to have an issue. But with Disney, where you are actively trying to get people subscribed to your service,
yes,
you want all the GIFs and memes and Instagram content.
Hype. People
just let that
the more that's
let
out
that
there,
pipeline flow.
the more people go, damn, I need to be involved and know what that means.
Yeah.
I need to know what the fuck's happening. Why is there a Baby Yoda?
And I don't know what it would have taken. Look, you're Disney, you're ABC, just buy the factory. You probably own one anyway. Make everybody sign NDAs.
And pump out Baby Yoda
and then just
merch.
be like, we're killing your family if you leak a photo of the Baby Yoda merch.
How hard could that have been? It's not that hard. American companies get it done every day.
Right.
What the fuck,
So
Disney?
I just, for them to not even have it, that's the other thing. When we talked about this 2 weeks ago, the show we'd seen 3 or 4 episodes already.
Right.
And there wasn't even like a T-shirt to buy.
Right.
It's not just the plush dolls.
Right.
They didn't even have a graphic on a T-shirt.
And the beauty of it is that now there's a million bootlegs just ripping Disney IP left and right,
It's just,
and they're having to fire out lawsuits all over the place.
It's phenomenal that they clearly did not have like a game plan.
But then the excuse
they knew that they were being so secretive about Baby Yoda.
That's a terrible excuse.
Because they knew, I guess, presumably, that Baby Yoda was going to be a smash hit.
That doesn't make sense then.
That's what I'm saying.
It's the opposite of sense.
That is what I'm saying. They knew they kept it under wraps because they were so excited about it, and yet nobody bothered to do a single thing about getting the merch ready at the same time.
That's the part that's
4 weeks. We see Baby Yoda approximately 6 weeks before Christmas. Are you kidding?
I know it's like oftentimes I say things with hyperbole attached to them, but I'm not joking. A bunch of people should be fired. This is a horrible error that is resulting in millions and I actually, you know what? I don't give a fuck about how much Disney makes, really, but it's just weird.
It's just weird. It's surprising.
Okay, but it also has resulted in this:
90,000 Amazon searches for Baby Yoda.
One of the good Jesus God,
within like a couple of weeks.
You got to imagine that's at least $5 a pop if they had gotten something out of results there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's just a lot of money. Another one of the issues, though, as a result of all this Baby Yoda drama and the branding of the actual character, which is an issue, which might be part of the problem when they went into the whole, what do we even do here?
Oh, because
it's called The Child.
The Child, yeah.
Okay,
yes.
All the dolls, the shit that's labeled.
Are The Child,
The Child. One of the problems that's arisen, and I'm not going to give anybody flame anybody here, but somebody I was talking to recently actually still thought they were watching Baby Yoda be raised, and that this is a prequel to Star Wars 4.
I'm sure a lot of people think that. I mean,
but that's problematic, Mike.
That is a problem.
That is the incorrect timeline here.
Right.
And then this person and I argued that they didn't even believe that I was correct. And I was like, no, this is way later.
Yeah.
That's why it's weird to see Empire shit. The Empire's not supposed to be around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why is that ATST in the fucking woods? Why are there stormtrooper heads on all those poles? Like, we're getting these little flashes of the Empire, and maybe eventually they can play with it, but no, this is later. Anyway, that's a problem for people. We're 6 episodes in, and people still think they're watching Mando raise what will eventually become Yoda that teaches Luke how to use the Force.
Okay.
Which ties us into a big problem. So anyway, but hopefully that gets...
Jay Cutler smoking gif, standing at a urinal, don't care.
So you don't care about the confused?
No, that's the dummies problem.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, I don't care
Fair enough.
about that.
Well, we here, we just want to make sure that our listeners are educated. That is not Yoda. That is not Yoda. It isn't actually Yoda. But there are... there's some fucking weird Star Wars lore to how many of those types of beings are around, and it's very few.
Only 3.
Which is why so many people, when they see Baby Yoda, go, "What the fuck is that?" They've never seen him before, or one of them, and they're not familiar with OG Yoda. That's not like a thing that everybody's aware of. Like, hey, that baby looks just like Yoda did. Remember Yoda who saved the galaxy back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
That's not like part of the history that everybody fucking knows. Is that weird?
Because they lost.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Because the Jedi's lost at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you think about
Wow.
the prequels, they lost.
Yeah.
And then the Empire took over.
So there's
and
no
rewrote.
there's
Yeah.
nothing to talk about there
Mhm.
yet. The legend doesn't even exist.
And people probably know about Luke Skywalker in the Mando universe, but not really about the old Jedis.
I wonder if they'll ever touch anything from Star Wars lore, universe, whatever, with references like big stuff like that, like Luke or so, I don't know. The fact that they're playing with Baby Yoda and the Force is super interesting to me. Like where the Force comes into play throughout this story, because the Force is the driving force of Star Wars as a story.
Mm-hmm.
Luke obtaining the Force and being able to utilize it is the story. It is the story in the new ones. Whatever the chick's name is. Can't remember off
Rey.
the top. Rey, obtaining the Force, being able to utilize it. So we're in a Star Wars universe where that is not the driving force behind the story, yet one of the most popular character on the show, and most marketable and least merchandisable, it turns out, has the Force.
Yeah. Let's talk Mando.
What's he going to do with it?
Well,
Let's talk Mando.
We'll probably find out in season
Tell me,
5.
tell me.
The way that things are going.
Yes. Are you displeased with the pacing of Mando?
No, not really, because I feel like they tipped us off that this was going to be a slow go of it pretty early on.
Yeah, I this is where I've expected to be.
It's interesting because here's why. Because unlike other shows that are just going to slowly bring you along,
Mm-hmm.
those kind of procedurals, if you will, where it's you fly in, you do an adventure, you fly out. That's usually like 20, 25 episodes a season.
Yeah.
This is 8.
Yeah, so it's like, what
So
are we
if you're
doing here?
releasing 8 a year and you're doing it in this type of, in this type of flow, then that's real. Then that's kind of weird because
It's like, come on.
now I expect you to give me, I do expect you to give me a little something about where they're going. What is this thing? What is the Mandalorian intending on doing with it? Like the whole thing.
Can I
And
make a statement? You tell me if this is fair.
Yeah.
The last 2 episodes, in a nutshell, were Mandalorian gets into a situation where Baby Yoda is in danger. He kills everyone that poses a threat, and then they fly away, and he hands them the little ball on the top of the gear shifter.
Yeah, I mean,
Then
you could even say the
Mandalorian-
episode before that one is pretty much the same as
But
well.
really 5 and 6.
Yes.
Like, enter situation,
Yes.
deal with threat, murder everyone that's a threat, and then leave. That's it.
They both include leaving Baby Yoda in the hands of somebody not like untrustworthy as well.
Yes, or potentially
Or
untrustworthy.
potentially, yeah.
Yeah, it was. They were very cut and dry. And probably 30 minutes into, probably 20 minutes into this one, I was like, "Oh shit, this is going to be another episode that ends, and it will never matter what happened in here."
Right.
None of this is tying to things. That's the issue. Is that it's like, oh,
But-
they're not really building.
But it was fun.
yes, but
yeah,
it was fun.
Bill Burr. I mean,
So the
Clancy
so
Brown.
Bill Burr was in there.
obviously, immediately, what they did answer a question to is: are we going to continue to get an endless run of celebrity cameos on this show? The answer is yes.
Which I'm all about.
Which is
Indeed.
awesome.
because they're
Yeah.
picking the correct celebrities.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Dying to know what the wait list for this looks like.
Oh,
And how like Amy Sedaris and Bill Burr had ins.
No, this is not like no. This is not the country club you apply to, and then they review your financials and you get in or you don't. This is Augusta where you have to know somebody. It's Star Wars. You don't get to fuck around with the list. There's no list. You just said Bill Burr clearly knows either a writer, because you have to be connected. There's no way. Think of every single.
That's what I'm saying.
Think
That's
about
what I'm saying.
how many Star Wars nerds are A-list celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So
it would just get too crazy.
Very much looking forward to that. Also, our hissing former love interest was Tonks / Osha from Harry Potter, Game of Thrones.
Harley Quinn
I didn't know that.
esque.
Oh yeah,
Also,
she was on GOT,
That
right?
character
Yeah,
was
she's OSHA
Yeah.
and Tonks from Harry Potter. Yeah,
absolutely absurd character.
terrible character.
What in the fuck?
Very classic hokey Star Wars.
Yes, and that's the beauty of this thing they've got going, is it's just a fucking
Now here's
nostalgia ride,
here's
baby.
here's what I liked about the episode. When Mandalorian,
6.
yes,
Okay.
The other one was a total
The
throwaway.
babysitter.
The
That was
business-
let's just
yes.
call it the babysitter.
Amy
That was it.
Sedaris was funny, and I liked, and that was it. It's fine.
Yeah.
It was fun. I love seeing Baby Yoda.
Okay, so what was this one?
This one, okay. Here was the cool part. All the run up, all the like, oh, it's just like old times, huh, Mando? And like everybody taking their shot at Mando.
By the way, that guy from Sons of Anarchy, fucking love him. Fat Santa the biker,
I
love
knew
him.
I recognized him. Is that what it's from?
Yeah,
Sons of
he's from
Anarchy?
Sons of Anarchy, bro. He
Okay.
was a great character.
So everybody comes up and like, former love interest is like, ooh, she doesn't play well with others. And then like, yeah,
Stop making that fucking
hissing
noise,
sound,
lady.
yeah.
What are you
And
doing?
then the Devil Man is like, oh, I thought he'd be bigger. I thought a Mandalorian would be bigger.
Okay, was
And
that
then, like-
not too close of like a theft from like straight out of the Marvel universe of whatever this shit with what are the ones on the spaceship?
There are a lot of spaceships in Marvel.
with the handsome guy from Parks and Rec that got huge.
Guardians of the Galaxy?
Is that not straight out of a Guardian? That's just something. That's from somewhere. There's a guy
Well,
that looks
Guardians
just
of the
like that.
Galaxy probably yanked it because it's a Devilorian or Devil something. It is a known race in this
Is it?
Star Wars canon.
Okay, so that's not
Devonian,
okay.
Delavonian,
Doesn't
something
matter
like
what
that,
it's called, but that's from Star Wars, not something.
Yeah,
they just
it's
introduced
from
here.
Star
It also
Wars,
kind of
yeah.
looks like
Okay, cool.
Hellboy. I mean, it's a devil.
Barrett, that's what I'm thinking of.
It's
Hellboy.
a devil.
I'm sorry.
It's a devil thing.
I was thinking of Hellboy.
He's flame retardant, even. Like he's red. It's a devil.
In fact, the flames kind of juiced him up a little bit.
yeah,
he enjoyed that.
So and then Mayfeld is just like, I run the show around here, honcho.
Yeah, that's it.
So okay, but then once we're on the ship, once Mando separates from them, and then once he like starts manipulating all the screens and everything goes red, and
Yeah.
it's like everybody is creeping around a horror hallway.
Yeah.
That was pretty tight, and
It was.
And Mandalorian can definitely throw down.
Let me ask you this though: cop out that all them fools are alive.
Oh, of course, but
A little bit lame. Thought we were doing Star Wars with balls.
yeah,
I was a little bit.
He has killed though.
That's true, and
He's not full Batman.
this balanced it out a bit. And in hindsight, I liked that because at the time, I'll be real, I was like, wow, he's really doing it. Just murdered. And this is another episode of him.
Yeah.
He's literally just offing everyone on this ship right now. Holy crap.
I mean, it felt like some Resident Evil shit or something for a little while.
He was in there.
Yeah.
And he was getting freaky with it. Everybody survives, though. He puts them all in a cell.
Yeah.
Bill Burr's in there with the freaky, hissy chick and the devil. The worst jail cell of all time.
Yeah.
You do not want to be in that jail
You
cell.
can just stick your hand out and grab a droid.
Yeah.
Use it to open the door.
Those dumbass droids.
Yeah.
Can we just touch on how stupid this prison is?
Oh yeah, no. For a max security prison, this thing was incredibly insecure.
There was a point where they were like, "Oh fuck, we haven't shown any security in a while. Hey, send out 2 fat security droids just so we can have some gravity to this thing." You remember when those 2 bigger ones?
Yeah,
come
and then Devil Man just like chunks one into the other one.
Yep,
Yeah.
that was tight, but it was also literally them being like, "Oh shit, this is way too much lack of security on this maximum security space prison run by droids."
Yes.
Also, I will say the Imperial response is the silliest trio of random star pilots of all time.
Okay. Now
The New Republic
that
response.
is a
I'm sorry.
that is a Star Wars trope, though.
Okay.
I believe that they have always done that on purpose because you even go back to the OG,
Yeah,
the
fighter
original
pilots,
trilogy,
like Stormtroopers,
and the New
sorta.
Republic fighter pilots show up, and you're like, who are these doofuses?
And why
where did they even get this actor?
And who wrote these goddamn lines is also
Yeah.
part of what
so,
you end up asking.
So they've always done that now, and even in this one, I think one of them, I think all 3 of them were people that are connected to the show.
They're all directors of The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
all three
there
all
you
three
go.
of the pilots.
Shut
yeah.
the fuck
Yeah.
up. That's awesome.
So, okay, time for my my It reference.
Mm.
Brother Purple Horn Flappy Ear Thingy guy,
Yes.
the prisoner that they were there to break out.
Yes.
He started like doing a voice and throwing around some laughs, and I was like, "Oh shit, is that Bill Skarsgård?" Because that laugh sounds exactly like Pennywise. It was not. Different guy.
just riffing a little off.
But
of
he
Bill,
just throws
perhaps.
out. He like laughs a few times and like says a few things. I'm like, man,
Dude,
sounds awfully like Pennywise.
I don't want to
A
be
lot
racist,
like
but
Pennywise.
fuck those two alien brother and sister. Those were terrible characters. Not being racist, just saying those were awful. I appreciate that we got those flappy. I always felt weirded out by those things. I'll be frank.
Wanawanga.
Let me
Is
drop.
that what they're called?
No, but that's what one of them says in Return of the Jedi. He goes, Wanawanga.
Oh, Bill Burr does a little Jar Jar Binks shout out.
Oh, yeah.
When
Yep.
he's like, I wonder if it's a Gungan under there.
Oh wow!
And then he says like he does like that little. I was surprised that
does
they
the
let him do the
Misa.
little racist accent.
the Misa.
yeah,
Mhm.
he was like Misa.
Yeah, but it's Bill
Yeah.
Burr, bro.
Yeah.
That's what he
also,
does.
I just did it on the podcast, so now
Now
yeah.
you're racist.
Yeah, now
Bill
I'm
Burr
racist.
routinely does jokes that you're like, wait, how?
He
I'm like, what the
punches down a
What the
lot.
fuck just happened? If I said that out loud, I'd be jailed. But
Like-
it's something about being Irish
like Louis
and white.
like Louis C.K.
No, not like that. Like he makes jokes that he shouldn't be able to get away with as a white guy a lot.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, wow, he's really, he's a fantastic stand-up. If
Yeah,
you
no,
don't know
people
who we're
love him.
talking about,
I absolutely
you don't absolutely love him.
I do not absolutely love him because I've never seen his. I've
Okay.
never like sat down and watched his stand-up.
Oh, you should watch one.
But I'm well aware of Bill Burr.
Okay,
is
yeah,
what I
there-
meant to say.
He has a couple specials that are like legitimately A-level
Yeah.
stand-up comedy
Yes.
specials.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Like Louis level almost. Well,
Okay.
that's not fair, but and I don't like
Let me
talking about Louis
allow me to
anymore. It
drop
makes me
another.
sad.
Allow me to drop another bomb on you.
Please do.
I'm not sure if you heard about this.
Drop a bomb on me.
Episode
baby.
4, the one with Hot Widow.
You dropped a bomb on me. That's stuck in my head now.
It's a
Yeah,
good
keep,
song.
keep going.
Directed by Bryce Dallas Howard. Turns out, Bryce Dallas Howard didn't even work with Pedro Pascal. How's that, you say? Well, that's because Pedro Pascal is not even in the suit half the time.
No.
What? Like
So
they have a body double?
Entire episodes are filmed with his body double as the Mandalorian.
They could have just lied to us.
Dude, okay, that's the kind of thing you keep to your fucking self, Disney. This is mistake number 2.
Bryce Dallas Howard commented she didn't even get to work with Pedro directing her episode because he was off rehearsing for King Lear on Broadway. So I don't know.
Dude, this
I have
answers
no-
your question about why he signed up for this fucking shit.
I guess because they were like, you get your name on the nameplate and you
And
can go
all
do
this
whatever.
money, and you don't have to
and
be
you don't
there
have
half
to
the
be here.
time.
Just go into a sound booth, read
Oh,
these lines.
yeah.
Yeah.
My,
But yes, so this is like,
oh my God, dude, you know what?
This does help answer the question, why did he agree to this? It does not answer the question of why they needed Pedro Pascal.
Or why they needed to tell us this information about the fact that it's Pedro Pascal, and then he's not even there. And directors are like, you know what? Yeah, I didn't in fact actually ever meet Pedro. And they're like, you mean the main character of the show? What the fuck is
Yeah.
important?
Yeah.
Wow, that is a bomb that
Yeah.
you dropped on me, baby. Wow, unreal.
You
I
dropped
could.
a bomb on me, baby.
Okay, so we got another moment in this episode where we think maybe we'll see Mando's helmet come off when they're like, fucking Bill Burr gets all ornery about the helmet all of a sudden. At first, you're like, Bill's going to be a good guy. He's going to be a little rougher. He's going to have a chip on his shoulder about wanting to be in charge of the mission or whatever, but he's going to be a good guy. And then you very quickly realize, like, Bill's a piece. Bill hates Mando. and he wants to take the helmet off.
Everybody hates Mando, apparently.
Because he's got the goddamn shiny armor.
Yeah.
They told him.
Everybody wants the best.
Everybody hates you, Mando, because you're a legend.
Yeah.
And that line gets repeated by Carl Weathers at the beginning of every episode.
Baby, you got a stew going.
In the preview, they always give you that piece.
Yeah.
They always give it to you about his fucking armor.
Mando!
Yeah, about his armor. Mike, we just need you to
Has
yell
Carl
out.
Weathers ever been like a good actor in anything?
No.
Yeah, Predator, dude. Go back and watch it. No,
just
he's-
Arrested Development.
Okay.
That's
That's his best work.
That's the joke about Carl Weathers
Is that
is that
he's-
he was a massive overactor in the 80s action
Yeah,
movies and
yeah.
90s action movies. Yeah. He like the scenes of him and Predator taking bullets and shit are unbelievably funny. Like cuz he's
Shit, Balboa! Sorry. That is wrong.
you're derailing. But no. Again, in the end, enjoying it, weirded out by the pace. Strange show we're dealing with here because we've got 2 more and So far, Barrett, we are arguably in the exact same spot we were after episode 2.
Yes, it is. That is strange. And again, like I am, it's a fun ride. I'm enjoying putting these on. Like I look forward to them coming out on Fridays.
Yeah, me too.
It'd be nice if there was like if they could do a little bit of storyline.
Yeah,
in
let's
some
just
of
fuck
these,
around a little deeper.
You know?
Because what was the thing? We were like, this is great. Levity. We don't have to fucking focus too much.
Yeah.
Fuck around on my phone for a couple minutes and I don't miss a goddamn thing. Turns
Right,
out
right.
you don't want to fuck around on your phone for 4 episodes, though, and not miss a damn thing.
Yes.
And right now, that's where we're at. Like, they
Right.
need to start doing actual stuff.
Yeah.
While we appreciate not having to, like, our brains work their asses off the whole time we're watching, you got to give us a little more than this. We're at a child-level Western now.
Yeah.
To the point that we do a reveal at the end of the episode where none of the bad guys died. That was, that's like, I was like, it hurts a little. So pull me back in with 7, please. We got to set up something for the finale. They can't just be, I guess they could, what if it's just 2 more like this? Open and shut cases.
They're like, when are you going to come back for season 2?
The way that they're doing, the way that it's going right now, it would not shock me if next episode we don't get anything again, and then they just drop a nugget for us in the finale.
Yeah.
And then they like come back in 2022.
Also, look, maybe because most of the actors are celebrity camos and Pedro Pascal's body double, and then like Gina Carano pops in once a season as well, and then other than that, it's just a puppet. Maybe they'll just churn out seasons more quickly. Like maybe this is one where we'll get 2 seasons in a year.
They're already filming season 2.
Tell me you haven't thought about the scope of how. Okay, this is part of the beauty of this show and the genius of it. They took Star Wars as a universe, arguably one of the most expensive universes to replicate, and they've put it in a box, essentially, mostly the spaceship, and to whatever set that spaceship goes that episode. They have made this baby so budget friendly. Oh my God! And if you start pulling at the strings, and you find out Pedro's not even having to be on the goddamn set for full episodes at a time, perhaps. This is a cash cow they've created.
Yeah, I mean, I think I read though. I want to say that they spent $100 million on the first season.
Well, they're using a new technology where they have like LED screens behind the actors instead of green screens, which is a new thing.
That sounds expensive. Yeah. Let's just chalk it up to that.
Yeah.
But it seems like the formula they've got is sort of beautiful in that way, that it's super simple, but it's Star Wars.
$15 million an episode.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see the breakdown because I'd like the breakdown to not decimate the theory I just laid out, which is that this is a budget-friendly show.
Occasionally I see the Beskar and I'm like, I wonder if I tap that, if it would go ding, ding, ding. Like, I hope it's real metal.
The what?
The Beskar.
His armor? And you think it might not be?
Yeah, sometimes the helm especially, and maybe the helmet is like lighter because he's got the body double has to wear it all day.
It's almost a little too shiny, like knight in shining armory in some scenes.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Anyway, I would just love to get my hands on those props, you know?
I feel you. Just see what the weight is.
See what the weight is. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Get him to take off
that would really
helmet.
help my enjoyment. So Disney, if you can
send
hook
us
up with that.
full Mando gear, please, so that we
thank
can
you.
both wear the full suits and never take off the helmet ever
Hey,
again.
I'll come be
because this is the way.
I'm probably about Pedro Pascal's size. You know?
You know what?
I could do the body double thing for 1 episode, free of charge.
Barrett will do it for free. I will pay you $50 to put me in that suit, Disney. I'll pay you $50. No, I don't probably fit the bill. But there was a scene, the part where he jumps down into the prison through the hole. Mando. I was like, that wasn't Pedro Pascal. I'm serious. It hit me. I was like, I don't know who the fuck that was that just jumped down, but that was not Pedro Pascal. And then until the moment where you just explained to me why, I couldn't put it. I was like, oh, it was just probably a stunt man. He was probably taking a shit or something. But it was not him. And it turns out, no, the whole goddamn episode probably. This is going to bug me, bro.
Yeah.
It's going to bug me a little bit, but I'll be okay.
Look, we can move on.
Yeah.
From discussing it. It's just another weird thing. Like I just don't get it. I don't get why they're operating like
but
this.
That is the dream, is to book a gig that allows you to not show up and like go on vacation while you're getting paid for somebody else doing your job.
Yes.
That is the dream. Like, he could have gone to the beach and recorded his lines like with a fucking martini in his hand, for all we know. Phenomenal stuff. This episode of OCC is also brought to you by Away. Away creates thoughtful products built for the way modern travelers see the world. They started with the perfect suitcase. Now they offer a range of essentials, all of which will make your travels more seamless. Whoever said it's all about the journey has never traveled during the holidays. This is the most stressful, craziest time of the year to hit the road, obviously. But Away's products are designed to work and fit together, making travel smoother for the holidays and beyond. If you're somebody who's constantly dealing with the issue of your phone dying in the airport, Away's luggage provides you with a phone charger in your frickin' suitcase so that it doesn't happen. One of my favorite pieces of their suitcases. They also come with an interior organization system that includes a built-in compression pad to help you pack more in, and a hidden removable laundry bag that separates your dirty clothes. 4 360-degree spinning wheels guarantee the smoothest roll even through the most hectic of airports and stations. It has a TSA-approved combination lock. Keeps your belongings safe. I have traveled 2 of the last 3 weekends with my Away suitcase. It is incredible. I've got one that's the perfect size to go to Houston for a couple of nights. The compression thing gets all my shit down in my bag. I can lock it so that when I put it on, for example, I took a bus this past weekend. When I put it on the bus, it's all locked up and safe. I know it's going to be fine no matter what the fuck happens in my Away luggage. And Away has a special offer just for you, Clam Fam. Traveling during the holidays is crazy, but getting away can make every trip a lot more seamless. Visit awaytravel.com/dragon to learn more. And if you're in the U.S., Europe, UK, Canada, or Australia, order by 11:59 on 12/15, which is already passed, has it not? Barrett. It has. That date is worthless. Ignore me if you're on Twitch. Ignore that date. And Mike, edit out that fucking date that I just said. awaytravel.com/dragon. For additional last-minute holiday shipping deals, check out their website, awaytravel.com/dragon. And Barrett, I'm going to quickly check to make sure, and Twitch as well. I'm going to quickly make sure that we didn't have an update to that read.
That's okay.
That I need.
Wow. Any of the Twitch, the Twitch people right now are just really getting a look behind the curtain.
They are. Hi, guys. Hi. Hey, by the way, one thing we discussed about doing with Twitch, since we're here in a point where Mike has to be paused for a second in terms of the episode stuff anyway, we're going to start. I know a lot of y'all put questions in the chat and respond while we're filming either RBP or OCC, and we talked about doing a little thing where, like, we address the Twitch audience before the show starts, then the show starts, then afterwards we answer questions from the Twitch audience, which would be fun. Mike, I think we should be good with that ad, though. It's just awaytravel.com/dragon. Just cut out the part where I said 12:15. Cool? Kill.
Any special, so no deal, though? Just
awaytravel.com/dragon.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's talk His Dark Materials.
Okay.
Season 1.
And we're back.
Episodes 5 and 6.
Tell me how far you got through 5.
30 minutes.
Okay. So what's happening? Do you remember?
No, not really.
Okay. Let me tell you what happens in episodes 5 and 6. I'll just break it down for you.
Yes, that would be lovely.
We can even put a timer on this if you want to see how fast I can do it.
Lyra. Yeah, no, let's see if you can do it in under 2 minutes.
In under how many?
2.
2 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, put on let's
You got your phone?
yeah, let me get my timer out here.
Can you do 2 full episodes of His Dark Materials?
I'll tell you what happens.
In under 2 minutes, episodes 5 and 6.
Here we
It's
go.
a challenge. You're a pro. Ready?
Yep.
Go.
Okay, here we go. All right, episode 5. Lyra with the Egyptians. She's on the walking trail.
Ah, the Egyptians.
But the alethiometer tells her that she needs to go to a secret ghost town far away. And she has to leave the Egyptians and go do this with Yorick, the armored polar bear.
Yeah, of course.
So they go. She has to do some convincing, though, first.
Ah.
They go. They find Billy Costa.
Ah.
No Damon, though, on Billy Costa. And he's
Ooh.
like a ghost of himself. They get him. They bring him back. He dies in the Egyptian camp.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
They're at the camp. They're hanging out. Bad men come up. They kidnap Lyra. Lyra! And off they go. And where does she find herself? She wakes up to some scientists wanting to do some tests, and it's Bolvanga.
Oh, my.
She's in Bolvanga.
Oh, my God.
Okay, that's it. Episode 6.
Okay.
She's in Bolvanga. She finds Roger! Roger's there! Roger! Lyra!
Roger's alive. That's huge, though. That's great news.
She starts mobilizing the kids in Bolvanger. They gotta do something.
So this is where all the kids are.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
Bolvanger.
Yes, the Egyptians are on their way, we hope, to save the kids. But meanwhile, tests are going down. they are cutting, they are incising the demons away from the kids. That's a soul. They're cutting their souls off, basically.
Why?
Yeah, they're doing that. Why would somebody do that?
Oh.
And she's trying to figure it out. All of a sudden,
Miss Coulter's behind all this shit?
yes, and then Miss Coulter shows up. Lyra has to hide. But then they take Lyra and Pantalaimon to the machine for cutting. For cutting.
They're gonna laser?
Yes. But she's running, but she says, no, you can't do this. I know Mrs. Coulter. Mrs. Coulter sees it. She's like, Mom! She stops it. Lyra tricks her, though, after that. They pull her out. She tricks her. Oh, man, I didn't do it. I didn't do
you
it.
suck. You suck. Couldn't do it in under 2 minutes. Couldn't you? Were right. I feel like you were right there,
I was
though.
right there. I was right there.
Okay, finish us
So
up.
she tricks Mrs. Coulter. She's playing like the nice daughter. Thank you for saving me. But then she locks Mrs. Coulter in her own room. She gets all the kids, hits the fire alarm. Total mayhem.
Holy
the
shit.
Egyptians show up.
Oh!
A witch shows up,
A witch?
kills everybody, saves the day. They get all the kids out of Bolvanger.
Wow. Is Mrs. Coulter alive?
Mrs. Coulter is alive. Yes.
Where's her dad?
Who's Mrs. Coulter's dad?
No, not Mrs. Coulter's dad. Lyra's dad.
So
Mrs. Coulter's ex-lover.
And we leave this episode. Lyra's like, that was great that we saved all the kids at Bolvanger.
Yeah.
But now I have to go do other stuff. I got to go save my dad, Asriel. So she goes with Lee Scoresby and Roger,
Okay.
and they go in the aeronaut balloon, and they're off to find Asriel.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah.
Christ.
Oh, one more thing happens at the end, though.
Okay.
Cliff ghasts. Scary demon things start jumping on the aeronaut balloon.
From the sky?
Yeah, just from cliffs. They're cliff ghasts.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Of course.
Mayhem ensues. Lee Scoresby, who's cocking his revolver every time he shoots. Because he's Lee Scoresby, Texan aeronaut.
Of course he has a fucking revolver like that.
Well, one thing leads to another, and Lyra falls out of the balloon. And that's where the episode ends.
Oh, that sucks. That's another problem for them to deal with. Lyra's falling out of the balloon now. Wow, dude.
Yeah.
Wow. So things are really going well.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Okay, so this is what I decided in episode 5 is that they have done such a bad job of setting up why any of this world and anything that happens in it, and therefore any of the characters in it, matter at all.
Thank you.
We don't really understand what a demon is, other than telling us that it's a soul. But we've seen demons separated from their kids, and they're alive.
Right.
So it's like that's all we know about those things.
Well, but then
Plus, we don't have
some people have the ability to send their demon off without their presence, like
Yes,
Mrs. Coulter has
like
that
Mrs.
ability,
Coulter.
I believe.
Yeah, which is why we think probably she's a witch too.
Okay.
But we don't know why crossing between the worlds is like a big deal.
Right.
We don't know why people want to do it or why the Magisterium doesn't want
So
people
they
to do
haven't
it.
really gotten any further into that part of it?
No, and meanwhile, the Magisterium's just like watching this other kid in the regular world. They're all posted up outside of his house in scary cars, just like watching him. And
'Cause
his
he's special?
his dad is the one that we think is he was like a military guy in the UK,
Mm-hmm.
and he's been gone for a long time.
See, this is part of the problem with you. You don't care about, because I don't give a fuck about the Magisterium, because I have no reason to care about the Magisterium at all.
But really they've just done a really poor job about world building, because like they set it up. It's so shallow. I don't understand. Nothing is meaningful to me because I don't have any knowledge of the backstory or the canon or the meaning of the books. And so it's like, it's just really weird because it's I understand that if you have read the trilogy or are very familiar with the books, why the show might be entertaining because it's like a visual translation.
Right, but that's not how television
That's not how
work,
television
though.
works, and that's what's so surprising is really, really, because what I can also tell that they've done is that they are pulling straight from the page and putting it on the screen. And that's not how this works.
Yeah.
Like the writing and reading medium, the language that you use there,
It's different, man.
totally different. Adapting a book and putting it on screen, whether it's a television or a movie, requires so much more
Yes.
than just ripping from the page and putting it on the screen.
But
Like
this
that's why it's
applies
called adapting it.
a lot
because
of
it
the
has
time,
to adapt
though,
to the screen.
Yes, but they
It
get. I
requires
think
a new language, a new visual language, and new dialogue as well.
directors get cocky with this shit, though, where I think they think in some circles. Because you know where I learned this? What show taught me this, that there's a difference? Game of Thrones. Because a lot of the time I would ask myself, I read the books, right? And there was points during seasons 2, 3, etc. before my mind had rotted away to a degree that I no longer remember anything from the books, and I'm just TV knowledge at this point, which is basically where I'm at. There was a point where I had them to compare it to, and it created that sort of context for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know what bigger point I was trying to make there, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm just. It's again. It's surprising that this wasn't executed better.
Yeah.
Given the obvious budget, because it looks great. It's visually very cool. It's got relatively like big names in it with Ruth Wilson and Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I remember the end of my point. Apologies.
And James McAvoy.
Yes. Well, and that they're not taking better advantage of, like, James McAvoy should be. It doesn't matter. But the way it's written, I would wonder to myself, wait, why didn't they just take that fantastic line from the book and duplicate it directly to the screen? And it would always be slightly altered. Well, there's a reason for that. If you said the exact line from the book, it would come off as too kitschy and weird, and that's where we keep ending up in his Dark Materials, especially with Lin-Manuel Miranda's character. You're like, wait, what the fuck? Is there like a cartoon circus person running around amongst all the other characters? Why the fuck is he so animated? And it's the musical thing, and they tried to play with it too much, and it is what it is. But to your point, yeah, no, that's always been fascinating to me. Even if it's a fantastically written book, you still have to alter the pages to fit TV.
Yeah.
You can't just pull.
When you have to do different things. Another like in books sometimes we get internal monologue, right? We right there on the page is what the character is thinking because they tell us via the novel.
Right.
You can't do that the same way.
Yeah, it doesn't
and
work.
so it's like there are lines towards the end of this episode, you know, they've freed all the kids from Bolvanger. Lyra's like having this nice moment with her kind of de facto mom with Ma Costa.
Okay.
And she's like, you know, this is a great job. We fought, we won. But it's like, but I still have to go do other things. Like there's still stuff left on my plate. And Ma Costa is just like, you know, gives this look where it's like, I feel you, I understand, you got to do what you got to do. And then Lyra's like, Lord Asriel, my dad, I have to go save him. That's what I meant when I said I still have to go. You know what I mean? Like
she's like, no, I know, kid, go.
I'm paraphrasing there, but it's now you don't need that line there. We know what she has to go do.
Right.
So it's that weird that it's I don't know. They're
just missing something.
Yeah.
Something is not right. Because it's just not hitting, and it is beautifully shot. Like, and it has these incredible actors. It just feels like you're watching like a Showtime show, basically.
I mean, that's a knock on Showtime, but
okay,
like it's
historically Showtime has been like HBO it's been like they do stuff that maybe wouldn't quite work sometimes.
Yeah, it just feels like not an HBO show.
No, this has been very strange. And as
which is why it's not an HBO show.
It's a BBC
really
production
a BBC
in conjunction with them or whatever. And yeah, no, but largely this is getting ripped up now. People are getting very annoyed. We are past the point of like, well, now let's wait and see. People have started complaining and hating more and more. It's becoming a little bit fashionable to make fun of this at this point.
Yeah, I will watch the rest of this season. It's only 2 more episodes, and I'm you know, in for a penny, for a pound, right?
For sure.
And then I will probably go to Wikipedia and read the plots of the final 2 books and be done with it.
Yep, that's fair. I'm not gonna do that last part. I'm just gonna watch the end of the season and then I'm gonna bounce. You know what? I might not even watch the end of the season. We'll see. No, I will. I'm not far enough behind. I've got an hour and a half, and I'll be completely caught up until the next episode drops this Sunday. So no, I will. I'll stick with it. But at this point, I'm starting to get with some of our viewers where it's a bit of a hate watch, where I find myself paying more attention to the shortcomings of the show than the things I should be enjoying, which is when you have a bad TV show. So kind of a bummer on his Dark Materials. And it's always funny when we have a show or an episode or anything that disappoints. I always find myself like, I hate ending the show, our show,
Yeah.
with the negative show. But it's like, where do you put it? You can't open with it either. Be the downer show at the top. So you just have to fucking add some levity by laughing about it at the end. That will do it for today's episode of OCC. Huge thanks to our sponsors again for supporting the show. Make sure you support them to support us. And if you've ever asked yourself, where can I get more OCC? As I mentioned at the top of the podcast today, patreon.com/Oysters, Clams, Cockles is the one and only exclusive place you can get more episodes of Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, of Barrett and I discussing the best in TV and film every single week if you join the Mollusk Militia. In 3 weeks out of the month, you'll get an additional episode if you join the Crustacean Nation. Just $5 to join the Crustacean Nation and get ad-free OCC with videos as well. You can watch the show, not just listen to it if you want, on patreon.com/Oysters, Clams, Cockles. Support OCC Clam Fam and get up on that URL, patreon.com/Oysters, Clams, Cockles today. Join one of those 2 tiers. Get a bunch of additional content. When you sign up today, by the way, just as an added cherry on top, you get everything we've ever put out on Patreon from November, from October, from summer, all that good stuff.
Wow.
Already available for you there.
That doesn't even seem fair.
Every movie club we've done, you can go back. I mean, that's one of the great things about it. Let's say you didn't get to watch Joker yet, and it comes out on you can rent it next week or some shit. Rent it and go listen to the movie club on Joker, because we did one already. For those of you who didn't get to see Parasite when it was in theaters, one of the best movies of the year, Barrett and I highly, highly, highly recommend it to everybody, as did Mike. Respect Mr. Park! And if you didn't get to see it, when it's available to rent, hey, go back and hit the movie club on Parasite. That's a fantastic movie with a very fun 1-hour podcast of Barrett and I discussing, ad-free, everything about Parasite and our experience seeing it in theaters. So, patreon.com/Oysters, Clams, Cockles, again, is where you need to go. Follow us on social media. We're on Instagram at Oysters, Clams, Cockles. We're on Twitter at Clams and Cockles, and we're on Facebook.com/Oysters, Clams, Cockles. You can follow me, Ross Bolen, at WR Bolen on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at WRBOLEN. And you can listen to my other podcast, the Ross Bolen Podcast, also presented by Bolen Media, wherever OCC is available, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud. The Ross Bolen Podcast is a humor and comedy-based show, but we also touch on serious stuff like mental health, addiction, substance abuse, life problems, and also animals, serial killers, random pieces of history, and current events and shit, too. The Ross Bolen Podcast. Give it a listen. Barrett, where can we follow you and hear more of your beautiful voice?
Oh, at Barrett Dudley on the gram and on Twitter.com. Or on the Twitter app on your phone. You can also find Twitter.
There is an app.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. They have an app.
They have an app. And listen to me and Phil Battaglia at Club Cool Pod on Instagram. Just search for Club Cool wherever you listen to your podcast. We meet at the intersection of style and pop culture. If you like those two things, or just one, or just the other, you will definitely like the show.
Ho-ho! How about that? Give RBP and Club Cool a listen when you're traveling around this holiday season. And be sure, by the way, to tell all your family and friends when you're home for the holidays.
Lots of time for podcasts.
When you're traveling, when you're hitting the road and such, share the gift of OCC with others. Tell them about Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, and the lovely community that we call the Clam Fam that we have here. That will do it for today's show, though. Until our next helping, adios, muchachos.